5-minute tax guides from your 5-minute tax guy. Short lessons to help you navigate the treacherous, hazardous, and totally unpredictable U.S. federal tax code. Where do I get tax help? One of the biggest problems that individuals have at tax time each year is finding out where they can go to get answers to their tax questions. Some common questions taxpayers ask include, when are my taxes due? Can I file an extension, and what does that mean? Do I have to file a tax return? Is my Social Security benefits taxed? How long should I keep past tax records? When will my refund come? What is self-employment tax, and why do I have to pay it? How do I prepare a tax return? Who should I hire to do my tax return? Do I owe a penalty for not having health insurance? How can I pay my tax owed? How much should I have withheld from my paychecks? What is my filing status? In this video and others, we'll tackle each of these questions as briefly, but as thoroughly as we can, without getting overly technical or wordy. Let's be honest, nobody likes a pretentious tax snob. When are taxes due? When you ask the question, when are taxes due, you really are asking a number of questions. When is my tax return due? When is my return due if I received an extension? When do I need to pay my tax due? And can I get an installment agreement and pay over time? When is my tax return due? Each year has its own due date for filing of tax returns depending on holidays and weekends. The short answer is tax returns are due on April 15th. However, if April 15th falls on a weekend or a holiday, then the return is due the next non-weekend, non-holiday day. For the tax year 2018, April 15th falls on Monday, so there is no extra days to file. The due date is April 15th, unless you live in Maine or Massachusetts. Because of Patriots' Day and Emancipation Day in some states, the federal filing deadline is extended to April 17th if you e-file your federal and state returns together. If you requested an extension to file before the original filing deadline, then you have until October 15th to file your return, again subject to the weekend and holiday rule. Please note, an extension to file is exactly that. It is an extension to file, not an extension to pay any taxes due on your return. If you will owe tax on October 15th, that tax must be paid by the original filing deadline to avoid any penalties and interest, which will be computed from the original filing deadline. That means that you will need to have a pretty good idea of what you will owe when you do file your return. Can I file an extension, and what does that mean? If you don't have all the records and documents that you need to accurately complete your tax return by the filing deadline, then you can request an extension to file. There are a few ways to get an extension to file. The first and probably most common method is to submit a Form 4868 by the original filing deadline. On this form, you must include your estimated tax liability and your tax payments, either estimated tax payments, tax withheld, or any other tax paid towards the year for which you are requesting an extension. On the right is the Form 4868, which you will use to request an extension. As noted on the form, you do not need to file a Form 4868 to request an extension if you make a payment using the IRS's electronic payment options. The IRS will automatically process an extension of time to file when you pay part or all of your estimated income tax electronically. You can pay either by phone or online. Note that this means you can pay as little as $1 towards your estimated tax owed, and that will be considered as an extension. A third option to request an extension is to e-file the request. Most tax preparation services such as Jackson Hewitt will do this for you for free a few days before the filing deadline. I cannot stress this enough. An extension of time to file is not an extension of time to pay. You must pay any taxes due on your return by the original due date for that return, or you will owe penalties and interest. When do I need to pay my tax due? Any taxes due on your return must be paid on or prior to the filing deadline for that tax return, not including extensions. If you complete your tax return on April 15th, but you find that you're unable to pay the tax that you owe, do not put off filing the return just because you can't pay the tax due. This is a common mistake made by many taxpayers. This little faux pas will result in additional penalties and interest that would not have been owed if you had gone ahead and filed the return and not paid the tax due. Can I get an installment agreement and pay over time? If, after completing your tax return, you owe taxes and you're unable to pay the tax due, you can request an installment agreement from the IRS. The IRS is uncharacteristically generous in granting installment agreement requests, so don't make the mistake of not filing because you don't have the money to pay. Here is the Form 9465 that you will need to request an installment agreement. That's it for this session, and thanks for watching the video. Be sure to click the subscribe button on the next screen to keep informed on upcoming tax changes. For more great 5-minute tax guides, check out the other videos in my 5-minute tax guide video series. See the list in the description below this video.